Happy Halloween, everyone. This is Joshua, feature filmmaker 3940 Reviews, where I talk movies, TV, and music, and this is gonna be a little bit of a 2021 Halloween movie review in one, 4-in-1. Now, my initial plan for October initially was to review a few horror films, but life kind of gets in the way, and sometimes you have to work with what you can. So, I have been pretty far behind on 2021 film reviews, and this is not the only video I will so that I will have a massive catch-up review split into two parts, because I've seen a lot of movies that I have not reviewed, and there will be some mini reviews, of course. So, we're gonna get into this, and I'm going to talk about 4 different horror movies I saw in 2021 that either I wanted to review but couldn't, but also that I just didn't have the time to. So, timestamps will be for each of these in the description box down below. Unless you need to see what I did with my Venom 2 mini thing and me watch this news. And I do hope you enjoy this as a little Halloween present to you guys. So, I do hope you guys enjoy this, and with that being said, this should be a lot of fun, and don't worry, it won't be as bad like this with terms of me not reviewing a lot next year, because there will be a channel thing I'm going to tell you how. So the first one we're going to start off with. First up, we're going to talk about is The Dark and the Wicked, which was directed by the director of The Strangers. This stars Marin Ireland, Michael Abbott Jr., and Xander Berkeley, and this is of course The Dark and the Wicked. Plagued by waking nightmares, 2 siblings suspect that something evil is taking over their family at an isolated farmhouse. This was actually one of the biggest surprises of the year, because up until a certain point, horror movies back in January, February were just kind of but The Dark and the Wicked, this was pretty darn good. I really liked the direction that this movie was taking. Bryan Bertino knows exactly what he was going for. I very much applauded what he was going for in terms of direction and writing. It's definitely something great that we have seen before, but something much more interesting and much more intriguing. And I found the concept and the ideas to be actually pretty creative and pretty scary. Of course, direction-wise, cinematography-wise, this is a very well shot film. It has good cinematography, great production design, and the color palette, you can see what's going on, of course. And I very much was a fan of Tom Schrader's musical score. It's an hour and 33 minutes. It gets you straight in, it gets you straight out. It doesn't waste any time. The editing of this movie, I think, is very good. The performances by the 3 main actors, I thought, were very good. Of course, Marin Ireland is a very good actress in here. I really liked Xander Berkeley. He is a well-known face from many movies that we see him in. And I was also a fan of Michael Abbott Jr. in his role. I thought those performances, they all did a very good job. There's also some crazy and creepy imagery for a movie with this type of title. And it does live up to the darkness and the wicked. So it definitely didn't hold any punches, and it definitely knew exactly what it was going for. The main issue that for me here is just the third act of the movie. I think the third act of this movie is a little too carried away, and it definitely does lose its momentum by the end of it. But I still found myself very much enjoying it, and I was still very much liking a lot of this movie what it was supposed to do. So at the end of the day, for the first horror movie of 2021 back in March, This was actually very damn good. I love the direction, I love the performances, I love the cinematography aspects, and the movie definitely did do its job very well in terms of what it was supposed to do. It did lose a bit of momentum in the last few minutes with the ending, but I thought this was actually really good. Actually, way better than I was expecting it to be. So, at the end of the day, Dark of the Wicked, this was actually really good, really surprising, and I did enjoy myself. So, as part of my rating system, I will give this a better than Vampire Academy. This was actually really surprising. Next up, we have Wrong Turn 2021. This was, of course, a new Wrong Turn movie and is a reboot of the series. This was directed by Mike P. Nelson, written by Alan McElroy, stars Charlotte Vega, Emma Dumont, Bill Sage, and Matthew Modine, also known as Wrong Turn the Foundation. A group of friends hiking the Appalachian Trail are confronted by the Foundation, which is a community of people who have lived in the mountains for hundreds of years. As you all know, I've only seen the first two Wrong Turn movies, and I actually really enjoyed the first two Wrong Turn movies. They're actually very good. I did not go beyond past that because the rest of the series I heard was pretty terrible. But I gotta admit, this was actually a very decent film, and I sat on this movie some more as I've thought about it, and here's what I will say. It does enough different to make itself different from the original set of films. It's not cannibals running around. It's more of a foundation. It's more this entity that I thought was actually pretty good and was pretty entertaining, of course. I do like the direction in the movie by, of course, our director, Mike P. Nelson knows what he's doing. And I didn't mind the kills. The kills are pretty gory. It's a low budget film, but the budget is very well done. The money's on screen. Cinematography wise is very good. And I very much like the direction that this movie was going for. When it gets to the issues with the movie, of course, the script is a bit messy and all over the place, as with any Wrong Turn movie, but it's not as bad as some of the later films. But I just feel like there's some script issues that could have been a little fixer-upper, a little bit, with at least one more draft, or a co-writer. The characters are not as well developed as much except for our main character and sort of Emma Dumont's character, sort of. But they were still somewhat likable, and even if they had their own problems ahead of them. And the movie is a little bit slow to get through in the first few minutes, but I found this to be a very pleasant, enjoyable experience. It's definitely a lot better than I was expecting it to be, and I definitely thought that this did a lot more good things than a lot more bad. And this is a version of Wrong Turn that I wouldn't mind seeing continue if they choose to go this route. I know some people who are fans of the franchise are not gonna like this, so know who you are going into this. But if you're willing to separate the cannibalistic version of Wrong Turn from this, I think you will be very much enjoyed. So I will say you can definitely stream this thing. Next up, we have PG, Psycho Goreman. This was requested by a friend, Tiffany Thompson, on Instagram. And I have to say, this was actually a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be. This was directed by Steven Kostanski. Intergalactic assassins converge on a small town after two siblings unwittingly resurrect an ancient alien overlord. And of course, this stars a cast of unknown actors such as Nito Jose Hanna, Owen Mayer, Adam Brooks. This was actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this. Gotta be straight up honest. This is definitely one of the most fun horror movies, and definitely one of my favorite horror movies of 2021 so far. I do not have Shudder, so I have to watch this in an alternative way, but I gotta say, For this, I was very surprised. I am a fan of this type of movie where it gets crazy and creative, but also gory and fun. And it has sci-fi and horror, two of my favorite things, so this is easily gonna be a winner for me. Definitely, I gotta say the acting in this movie is very good from the unknown actors that we have seen. These are actors I've never seen before, and I gotta say they do a very good job in their roles. Everyone is so likable, everyone is creative. The movie is also very hilarious and absurd, which is something I very much appreciate. It's very absurd, very hilarious, and that's what I very much love about it. It's so absurd and very fun and creative. And it just hits you. It knows exactly what it is. It's not trying to be Oscar winner. It's just want to be a absurd, hilarious, entertaining, intergalactic sci-fi film. Also for the effects here, I gotta say the effects here are very fun. The little horror action that you get is so cool. It does have its gory side, and it is very creative, of course. But the main thing I very much appreciate about this movie is that it's willing to have fun, and that's what I love about this movie. It wants to have some good fun. It doesn't want to take itself too seriously. It knows exactly what it's doing. Of course, issues, of course, yes. This is something that we've seen before, and of course, it can get a little too absurd. But I gotta admit, I was laughing, I was having fun, I was enjoying it, I was liking it, I was liking a lot of the things that he was going for, and at the end of the day, it did do its job. It did do its job at what it was supposed to do. Entertaining me, getting me into it, getting me out, and it just hit me. It knew what it wanted to be, and that's what I liked about it. It didn't want to be anything else. So overall, this Psycho Goreman, PG Psycho Goreman, was a surprise for me. I definitely thank very much for the recommendation, Tiffany Thompson. Um, I, this is one of my favorite horror movies of 2021. It's not a masterpiece or anything, but it didn't need to be. It just needs to be a fun, entertaining, hilarious mashup of two genres that I enjoy. And I definitely would like to see more like this. And especially if you're gonna be hilarious and absurd like this, it knows what it is. Hey, I like the Sharknado movies, so definitely for sure I will recommend this because this is actually very fun. I was very much enjoying it. And so with that being said, if I have to give a rating for Psycho Goreman, I'm definitely gotta give this the Epitastic grade. Definitely an Epitastic. I was very much happy with this. And now last but least we have Saint Maud. This is an A24 film. This was directed by first time director, of course, Rose Glass, and this stars Morfydd Clark and Jennifer Ehle. This movie, of course, Saint Maud, was actually really good. Maud is a reclusive young nurse whose impressionable demeanor causes her to pursue a pious path of Christian devotion after an obscure trauma. Now charged with the hospice care of Amanda, a retired dancer ravaged by cancer, Maud's fervent faith quickly inspires an obsessive conviction that she must save her war's soul from eternal damnation, whatever the cost. This, of course, was supposed to come out in 2020, but of course, that's where any movie just got pushed back until now. And I gotta say, the wait was worth it. Of course, I am an A24 fan. I have not seen a lot of their movies, but for the ones I have seen, I do enjoy. There's some male ones that I think are okay, but this isn't my favorite A24 film that they've done in terms of horror. I think The Witch is actually one of my favorites. And as far as A24 in general, there's a lot more I like Room and The Green Knight. but I thought this was actually a very welcoming surprise. I thought this was actually had some charm to it, actually had a sense of creativity to it. It is scary, of course, just this idea of this main character Maud, and she has this whole belief. So with this other character played by Jennifer Ayo, and and then she has to use her whole Christian ways, and things get a lot more twisted, a lot more complicated. Just very out there. It's very original. Rose Glass, for her first directorial debut, I thought she really did great in the writing and directing department. She knows exactly what the movie she's going for, and she gets some great visual shots here. It's very creepy, crazy atmosphere, and it's crazy for real. It gets crazy, and it's not afraid to go into crazy territory. So it definitely does take you by surprise that this is a crazy film that's beat there. And there are some scenes in this movie that made me go, what in the actual heck is that? But I found myself very much enjoying what this movie was doing. For an hour and 24 minutes, it goes by very quick. It never lets you go. Once you get in, you can't really get out, and I was very much enjoying it. I enjoyed what this movie was going for. It was very intriguing, very interesting, and I just thought for the most part, this movie sold me. It knew exactly what it was. This movie was nerve shredding. It felt like when you're watching this, and it just did not go crazy. This is the one, the kind of movie that will give you nightmares, and for sure, I was very much impressed with it. I very much enjoyed what this movie had to offer, and it knew what it was once. I very much enjoyed the intriguing aspects of this character during this three-arc structure, and the musical score and the cinematography and editing. It does get that whole feel of this whole religious, weird but crazy, chaotic feel. But I was into it, of course. This got released in the UK first, but then US did take us a while to go get it. So, but I was able to find this and watch it somehow. And this is a movie that easily should have been seen by a lot more people. It is on demand and such, but this is a movie that, of course, despite whatever religion you are, put that aside, and I think you could be able to enjoy this. Also, I need to mention that the sound design in this movie is incredible. You have some incredible sound design here. I don't really have that much negatives to go around, except for the fact that I should have given this its own individual review. But overall, I did enjoy Saint Maud to a very much degree. Definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. I was very impressed with it. I very much enjoyed it. It's definitely one of my favorite horror films, but it's not my favorite horror film. It is definitely one of the best of the year for me personally, but I did enjoy it here. I very much enjoyed what the movie was going for, and honestly, I wouldn't mind watching this again. So, the skate on the rating, definitely have to give this a better than Vampire Academy, because this is actually really good, and I I was very much happy with this. Now, some people are not gonna like it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So, this is going to my ratings to the film. Alright, everyone, so that was my little Halloween 2021 movie reviews in one. I hope you enjoyed it. Try not to make this as long as I could. So, in the comment section down below, if you've seen any of these movies, what did you guys think? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Are you somewhere right in the middle? More videos are coming. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below, share this video because it does help with the algorithm, it helps the channel grow, and it does help the views come in. All my social media links in the description box down below. If you'd like to send any money to my Cash App, you can DM me or message me privately to do so. My Amazon wish list is also in the description box if you'd like to get anything from there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.